Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Lab Rats issue number 6 by John Byrne from DC Comics. I start to lose interest in the series pretty quick, and because the decisions that's been made in this and the past issues. In the beginning, I thought, hey, yeah, that was fun and interesting, great. But now it's becoming uh, it's not really fun to read through because before I can get invested, we are jumping to something else. And I'm going to show you why. So, okay, this is still in the past when our young heroes go to the future. They accidentally created in some kind of a cataclysmic event. Superman, was in the middle of it. It seems that also the energy shot into space, and there's now some kind of a fallout with that. And Superman lost his memory, and then now you know, Superman has regained their memory, and it was all some kind of a revenge plot. And check out my other reviews if you want to know what's going on. So Superman, Earth is being, well, no, not really invaded, but it's more like that they are being shot at for reasons. And Superman says that he is not all that powerful because he was 20 years dormant or something. But that's weird because it's not that he is, I don't know, being 20 years on the ground with no sunlight. I mean, his powers come from sunlight. No, he has actually a tower, a black tower that he lived in. So why he's not at full power is beyond me. I know kryptonite can sap power, but doesn't. When that factor is not there anymore, he should charge up like normal. So I don't know, man. So he's redirecting, I don't know, the weapons of the aliens and fighting them off, and then so this is the tower that I spoke about, right? So and then this girl called 12, he said, hey, yeah, my plan sucked, or well, it backfired, and she doesn't want to participate. She basically says, hey, let the aliens do the job and burn Earth to hell or whatever. She doesn't care anymore. So then we see some kind of a recap here. Well, not much of a recap, but they played the message back. So it seems that the vortex, the cataclysm, went into space, devastated also alien civilizations, and now these alien civilizations, assembled, and they now are at full power, and they want to Earth destroyed because they were the cause of that, right? So meanwhile, the other half of the lab rats discovered a some kind of I don't know, chamber, with a lot of machines, and they want to power up because they need to go back to their home, their own timeline, because they want to prevent the stuff that's happening. But it comes with some kind of a cost, right? Um, so and then we see this particular shot here, right? So they see Superman, swooping from left to right in space, destroying weapons. And this guy says, incredible, it's like seeing a legend come to life. A legend you were all pretty keen not to kill not so long ago. So basically, this guy says, well, yeah, that's not really what we wanted to do. And they believed that Superman was really dead. And they only joined because, well, they got food and comfort, and they want to live on the sewers anymore, which I can guess. Sewers or a nice warm bed with a shower and a hot meal and clean clothes. Yeah, I know where people want to jump, right? So this is, like I said, I have trouble sometimes with the depictions of girls in John Byrne's comics because he makes them all look like, sometimes, especially young girls, like boys with the weird haircuts and this very unflattering body type. I mean, it looks like a young boy, but this is a girl. And so she says, hey, how about you, Blondie? She has white hair. You're only a couple years older than me. How did you get to be in charge of Superman for 50 years? It wasn't always me, you idiot. After the shockwave, the first to come upon Superman in the ruins of Metropolis. So it was her grandfather that did this, and Superman had amnesia. and he didn't know what was going on, and everybody is just plundering the city because it's now total chaos. And Superman says, "Hey, what was that name that you called me before?" And he says, "You have no memory, no idea who you are. You said Superman, but when I say that name, I feel overwhelming guilt. Guilt because Superman was sworn to protect Metropolis and the world, and he failed, didn't he? Metropolis has been destroyed. Yes, failed. Superman failed." And then that was when my grandfather had a brilliant idea. So what did he do? Superman had no memory, but he still seemed to have the most of his powers. By manipulating him, my grandfather saw a way to not only survive the cataclysm, but to come on top of it. He used the combination of Superman's amnesia and subconscious guilt to convince him that he had to find Superman and punish him. But then this girl says, "Hey, what about the supervillains and the superheroes?" So she says that a lot of them died except for the most powerful, but then basically they manipulated Superman to, well, not Superman, because they manipulated him to not be Superman, to kill them, and they didn't see it coming because it was Superman, right? So you turned Superman into a killer? Of course. In his confused state, it was easy to hypnotize him. What? How? Okay. To make him do anything my grandfather wanted. And that would have added to Superman's feelings of guilt. He would become trapped in a Mobius loop of unconscious self-loathing. That's crazy and brilliant at the same time. All right. She says, since my grandfather had access to a small quantity of kryptonite, how? How did he get that? I mean, it's not that it's lying on the street or somewhere, right? I mean, Lex Luthor had probably something in his vault, but a random dude, that's not possible. Anyway, to keep Superman dazed and confused, and it wasn't an easy task because it was feeding poison milk to a baby. So everybody's listening in and said, but then Superman realized that the aliens just stopped shooting and they say, "Hey, come in." And so Superman has a talk with these aliens, and they say, "Hey, why are you protecting this world?" And he says, "This world has been my home for all my conscious life, Captain, and I did not intend to destroy so many worlds and lives. You will forgive me if I find that hard to believe. Such a powerful weapon cannot be unleashed by accident." So Superman says, "Well, actually it was." And then we leave it with that. That was a big ad. And so yeah, they so the other lab rats inspect the how do you say it, going through the time pod. Yeah, it's a time pod, right? And it's damaged. And then Superman comes and he says, "Well, the aliens." He managed to convince them that the attack launched from Earth was not deliberate, and they give us 12 hours to fix things. So Superman helps them to fix the time pod, but then, okay, this is a little bit a little bit weird, I think. So they want to go back to their own time and prevent their own launching before they come here and destroy everything, right? That's okay. I get that, But then he says, "We won't." Okay, well, they talk about changing the past and all that stuff, and it causes a ripple effect, and call about the butterfly effect. I mean, I believe most of you know what the butterfly effect is. If not, you can Google it. It's well known for now. So this girl says, "So you're saying we can go back to a point before using this stupid thing has caused too many of those ripples?" "Right. Quinlan told me there was a period of couple of hours when they ran into the mechanism to full power just for a test with no one in the hot zone." So the hot zone is believed like the space in between before they go into the future, like the negative zone or something. They've been transported there. They have to wait there until it's been powered up, I guess, right? I a little bit forgot about that part. So I believe his name is Wu. This is also a girl, by the way, that looks like a boy. Um, I was wondering how we go going back to before the accelerator was used. If the accelerator has to be online at the other end for this end to work. Even if the accelerator is online, won't a time car be sitting on the track? How do we survive crashing into it? We don't. Okay. I thought, okay, that's cool. So they are willing to sacrifice them, to save this timeline. Okay, that's interesting. But then he's been outside and he's talking to Superman, and Superman says, hey, is this a good idea? And he says, yeah, because we all feel guilty. Superman pats him on the back and he says, bye-bye, and see you next time. So, okay, it was a little bit like a nothing burger, I guess. And then, okay, I expect them to see that actually happen, going back in time, stopping themselves, sacrificing themselves for the greater good. No. No. No, not at all. Because 1 week later, sorry, Mr. Quinlan, the whole system has been unstable. We have to have 100%. And then it exploded. And nothing to be salvaged? The weirdest thing, like the whole structure of the accelerator kind of folded itself through 4-dimensional space. So they succeeded somehow, although we didn't see how. And that's a little bit the crux with this whole comic. There's a lot of jumping from point to point into eras and to different locations, but we've been told that stuff happens. We don't actually see it. So the flow of the story is really messed up, in my opinion. So, and then we have these kids here because they didn't go into the pod. So the art says, hey, what was that big thing you talked about? Are we going into, you said that you would have showed off something extraordinary. And he says, well, yeah, it's a bust. Let's move on to the next project, right? So they're sitting here in the canteen, and then suddenly Wu says, hey, wait a minute, you feel it? A weird sensation if you were in two places at once at the same time. So basically, yeah, I believe the time structure is now resetting itself, I believe, because they are going back in time, prevented it. So they're two merging with each other, and so this is now the current timeline. That's how I see it. I could be totally wrong because, like I said, it's just not really well explained. And then they say, hey, do you want to go into space, kids? Because we have a spaceship for time travel. No, not for time travel, but for space travel. So yeah, we completely forgot about everything that's happened here. We didn't see the fallout. We didn't see how it's going. We didn't see how, it went with 12 and all the other people that, destroyed the world for revenge and all that stuff. We didn't see anything. Is she going to jail? Is she being on trial? Did she get killed? I don't know. What is Superman doing? Does the grandfather still live? I don't know. Is he looking for other people, other superheroes? Is he rebuilding? Don't know. Don't know, because that time period is not there anymore, right? So actually it didn't happen. So therefore, no need to stand still and think about it, because it's not going to happen. Timeline erased. So they immediately go to the next one. So it seems that they are doing, hyperspace. They go into some kind of a planet because, reasons. Because there are lab rats and they need to test this thing, right? So they are preparing for the time jump. And then, so Quinlan is here in his observatory. I don't know, it's his computer lab. And he says, hey, what's your status? You should be jump point any minute now, Poe. Have you decided to tell us where we're going yet? To a planet we think is circling a small blue star in Beta Trianguli Poe. An interesting world, if our readings are correct. So he breaks the connection and he says, you really think it's a good idea to send them without telling them what we know about that planet? We really don't know anything, Brennan. If we did, there'd be no reason to send anyone to check it out. Besides, since we don't know what it really is, we don't really know its trouble. Better to let the rats walk out into it without preconceived notions coloring their judgment. Who knows? Maybe this time they just have fun with it. Looks freaking awesome, I will say. But yeah, I mean, they're literally lab rats, you know, they are just, he's sending there to the doom and maybe they'll survive, maybe they don't. Like I said, it's just from cut from one scene to another very, very quickly. It seems that, just speculation, of course, that John Byrne maybe realizes that it was only 8 issues long, but he wants to tell a certain kind of story. Therefore, he's just maybe rushing it, or maybe he was running out of, you know, story to tell in this timeline. And I think that's a problem. The flow of the story, the pacing is not good at all. And so we have only 2 issues left, guys. So I'm gonna see if it's good. I don't think this is good. And that brings us to the end of the video. See you later, guys. Bye bye.